Hello and welcome to podcast number
2
with DosAmericanos. My name's Gabe.
And I'm Joey.
Tonight, we're talking a little bit about some more soccer topics. Thank you to all those who watched the previous podcast. We love our supporters.
Always.
15 subscribers, Joey.
Great stuff.
I
Thank you
honestly
to every
thought-
single one of you.
I thought we were going to have 2.
Didn't even expect that many.
15. So thank you to the 15 people who decided to click that subscribe button. We got a few shares as well.
Wow, great stuff.
Got 4 shares. So
Brilliant.
all of you out there who are supporting us too, the Dos Americanos as we say, we really appreciate the support. Today we're talking about the Champions League draw that happened this morning. Then we'll transition into young players, prospects coming up through the ranks of academies, players that have made appearances for their teams, under 23 players, anything you can think of. And then lastly, a topic that is on a lot of people's minds at the moment,
You're sure?
or at least in this country, the U.S. soccer and next head coach, coach search. But we'll start with the Champions League draw that happened this morning. Way too early for me to get up for.
So it started with the big one, I think, is Juve versus
it's got to be
Madrid. I love that matchup, especially because they've played like multiple times in the past few years, even in finals and semifinals. Right. So I just feel like it's going to be like a great game. It usually always is with those teams.
Well, that, like you said, it's going to be a final. It's going to be a final in the round of 8. So, I mean, with the Juve side, they've obviously got the strong back line, but this strong back line that everyone has come to know is old. They're aging. And we saw a Tottenham side, a young side, your squad.
The only team to score on them in 2018. Did it 3 times.
And, I mean, we saw youth, we saw pace coming from Tottenham, and it kind of took Juve off guard, I'd say. Ultimately, they came out on top just because they're more experienced in that situation. They're going to win those type of games. But against a Real side, a young, median-age Real side,
they have young players, but they also have so much experience and players like Asensio learning from players like Ronaldo and stuff like that.
So, I mean,
too good.
We'll come back and we'll give predictions for all the games, but I think that's going to be probably the matchup to watch going into the next round of UEFA Champions League.
Actually, I think my favorite one, forget what I said about the Juventus one, my favorite one is the Liverpool versus City one.
See, I can't get behind the Liverpool City one.
Why?
They play each other in the Premier League.
Yeah, but it's different.
It is different. It's 2 legs in the middle of the week. It's a lot different than the Premier League. Yeah. But I would have loved to see a team like Liverpool play Barcelona.
To see them lose?
Okay. They're not even playing each other, so it doesn't even matter. But we're not going to get into that.
Coutinho would come back to Anfield and destroy
Coutinho
them.
Can't even play.
Oh, you're right.
So But, no, it just would have been nice. We saw a Chelsea side go at Barcelona. They didn't
get destroyed.
Yes, they got destroyed or whatever, but there were gaps in the back line.
In Courtois' legs.
There were gaps on that Barcelona back line, and I think it could be exposed by Liverpool side. But, like I said, they're not even playing each other, so it doesn't matter. But
Messi would destroy Lovren, just putting it out there.
Okay, Liverpool back line is a little shaky, but again, they're not playing each other.
Yeah, that's
They could later on in the Final Four, but that will be something that we'll have to look forward to. We've got Bayern-Sevilla.
That's a good one.
That is going to be a good matchup. I mean, Sevilla, perennial Europa League winners. I mean, obviously it's not the same manager that they won those trophies with.
No.
But the side, I would say, is a little bit stronger than those Europa League winners. They've got Ben Yedder up top, who's kind of on form right now after his performance against Man United. He's playing in a tough La Liga league. He's playing in a tough La Liga where they're, he's got challenges week in and week out.
Yeah. I think the Spanish teams just play so well. And, I know Bayern and all the top teams play well. No, that's true. But I just feel like if they can hopefully play their game and not get sucked into, just defending the whole time against Bayern attacks, then I don't know.
But, at the end of the day, if Sevilla does go at Bayern as they did against Man United, I think they do stand a chance because ultimately Bayern doesn't have the brick wall that is Manuel Neuer in goal.
Yeah, but they are so good that you give a team like that one chance on the counterattack.
It's true. It's game over.
Paying for it. But
I mean, you never know.
You never know.
I don't think anybody expected. I mean, I'm sure some people did, but Sevilla to pull the upset against.
Yeah.
Some people may say it's an upset. Some people may not, but pull the result against Manchester at Old Trafford. 2-0 it was, or 2-1. 2-1. Yeah, United got a late one, but 2-1 at Old Trafford. I don't know how many people expected that. So, if they can get a good result at home, or if they can even get an away goal at the Allianz, you never know.
I mean, it's not likely, but it's definitely possible.
It is possible. So, third matchup, we have Liverpool and Chelsea. I mean, not...
Thought you were kidding.
Chelsea's not even in anymore.
Well, we already talked about the Liverpool City one.
Liverpool City. Well, let's dive in a little more.
All right.
We've seen a matchup in the Premier League.
Yeah. Their only loss of the Premier League season.
Exactly. But the way City's been playing lately,
they're just too good.
They're my top pick for a final. I think they have a really good shot at making the final.
I'd love to see a City-Madrid final.
Yeah, it would be a good matchup.
Or a City-Barca, Pep returning, or he wouldn't be returning, but he'd be playing against
Barca.
Yeah.
No, that would be interesting. It would definitely be a nail-biter, that's for sure. Two teams that play very similar. But Liverpool City, I mean, it's going to be just like it has been all year. It's going to be a tough matchup. It's kind of a toss-up if you ask me.
Prediction, though. Put it out there.
Well, we'll put the predictions out there. Let's talk about the last one. Let's talk about the last one. Roma Barca. This is kind of a laughable fixture, in my opinion. In my opinion.
Boy.
You've got a Roma side who had trouble with Shakhtar last round.
So.
Shakhtar's a good team, but ultimately Shakhtar, if they were to play Barca, it would be like the way Bayern treated Besiktas in the last round.
Yeah, but Roma's pretty good, and although they didn't play too well against Shakhtar, they could give Barca a game.
So you're telling me Dzeko?
Yes. Dzeko's a beast.
I do think Dzeko's a beast, but I don't think he's going to give PK and that Barca backline any trouble.
I mean, I think it'll be a tough game, and it might open up towards the end. Like, it could actually end up like a 4-1 or something like that. Yeah. But over 2 legs. But I think first game will be a tough one.
Yeah. All right. Prediction time.
For which one?
Juve Real. What do you got?
Okay. I'm going to say over 2 legs, it's a 1-1 Juve.
We got a score line? 1-1. You have them going ahead on away goals. I'm also going to go with Juve. I think it's going to be more than just 1-1. I mean, you have Juve, who's a very defensive-minded team, but going forward, super dangerous. Mm-hmm. And you have a Real team that's going to be trying to press the back line of Juve for 180 minutes and maybe extra time.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Juve as well, but I'm going to go 3-2 scoreline. Dybala scores the goal to shoot them into the Final Four.
I just want to mention Tottenham would be pretty much guaranteed in the semifinal because they know how to deal with Real Madrid.
That's...
Yep.
Okay.
We saw it in the group stage.
That's for another day. But, Tottenham got knocked out, my boy.
Okay. Bayern versus Sevilla.
You got to go with Bayern. I have this as a 4-1 aggregate scoreline. I think they beat them 3-0 at the Allianz. I just think Bayern is just another class. I mean, Sevilla, they're a good team, but ultimately, I think this is where their road comes to an end.
You basically said everything I was going to say. I was going to say 4-1, a 3-0, and then a 1-1.
Yeah, I mean, we can both agree there, and I think everyone else can agree with that as well. Like
probably.
But, I mean, you never know. Sevilla could pull off the shock. This is football, and crazier things have happened. Yep. Liverpool City.
Oh, gosh. I'm going to say... It's going to be such a high-scoring one. I'm going to say, 5-4 City over the 2 legs.
I disagree.
Ooh.
I'm going to go 1-1. Liverpool goes through.
Boy.
Liverpool goes through on away goals.
Boy, 1-1 between those two teams.
You're gonna think it's gonna be a super attack-minded series between the two, but at some point these teams are gonna have to defend. They can't just push at each other.
Well, Man City defends. Liverpool doesn't. That's the thing.
I'm saying 1-1. Liverpool goes through on away goals.
You think Liverpool over 2 legs can only concede 1 goal to City?
I do.
All right.
I do. I think Van Dijk can be a stronghold on the back line. And yes, Dejan Lovren is not the greatest center back in the world, but I think he pulls something out of his hat and they get the result.
I disagree, but okay, we'll see.
Fair enough. We've got Roma Barca.
What am I saying? I'm going to say a 3-1 Barca.
I'll go...
Dzeko to get the only Roma goal.
I'll go 5-1 Barca.
Big one. Big one.
I think what we saw Barca do against Chelsea is like what's to come.
Yeah.
Messi, the dude only gets better and better each game that he plays. I swear he's not aging at all. Iniesta, it's going to be interesting to see if he can withstand the toll that his body's going through, because ultimately he is getting older. But I think X factor in that series, Ousmane Dembele.
Yeah.
I think he gets a couple of goals to his name, and I think they just absolutely thrash Roma.
I could see it.
Take that win, 5-1 aggregate scoreline.
All right.
Speaking of Ousmane Dembele,
hey.
A young starlet on the rise with both Barcelona and France. Joey, let's talk a little bit about young prospects, both in the U.S. and around the world, and who we could see as maybe future Ballon d'Or winners and national team and club level stars.
I would say the top 2 young stars right now are Mbappe. I would say Mbappe is number 1.
Okay.
And then Asensio is number 2. I just think those guys are
so
good.
I think, yeah, I'll follow your path on that one. But everyone knows about those guys. Everyone knows about Asensio. Everyone knows about Mbappe and Dembele.
But they don't know about Dele Alli.
Dele Alli, the best guy. And we'll get into that. So I think as far as young talent goes, you kind of have to look at a guy like Leon Bailey.
Yeah, Leverkusen.
Yeah. He's doing very well in the Bundesliga.
Mm-hmm.
I mean...
Wait, do you know what nationality is? Is he like...
He's Jamaican.
That's what I thought.
But...
He plays for Ivory Coast?
He can play for England.
England?
Yeah. He has the opportunity to play for England. He's already said he's not going to play for Jamaica. He doesn't think they're good enough, I guess.
Gold Cup champions?
I mean,
were they the champions? No, they weren't the champions. They made the final. They made the final. Let's go Mexico.
I'm just saying, a guy like Leon Bailey, he's going to be in the Prem, probably, most likely.
Probably.
I like what he does. He reminds me a lot of like a Robben type of player.
Yeah.
He's mostly one-sided.
Yeah.
He's quick on the cut. He's a super agile player, super fast.
Seems to just score goals.
He scores goals.
Always in the right place, it seems like.
It's true. He scores goals. And I mean, we've seen him do that at Leverkusen. And another guy I think we have to look at is Alexander-Arnold, right back at Liverpool.
My cousin.
Future England right back.
I don't think he's that good.
You don't think he's that good to play for the England squad?
No, I'm like, I mean, he could play for England, but you don't have to be that good to play for England.
Okay. Taking shots for a team that got to the World Cup when ours didn't.
I'm not saying the U.S. is good either, though. But I think he's like a decent young player, but I don't think I would talk about him in like the best young. Like he is one of the best, but he's not that great. I mean, he's okay.
I enjoy watching him play because I think his work rate is up there with some of the best youngsters in the Premier League. The way he gets up and down the line as a right back, it's pretty impressive for a guy his age.
But you know who's even better for a fullback in England? Ryan Sessegnon.
That's true.
From Fulham,
Ryan Sessegnon.
Yeah.
He's going
to
be up for grabs in the summer.
Yeah.
He's probably going to be one of the biggest talked about transfers in the summertime.
Could be like the most expensive fullback ever.
I could definitely see it.
I mean
who's up there? Benjamin Mendy is like number 1 left back.
Alexandro, Kyle Walker's up there. I don't know.
So I mean, he's what, 19?
Something like, or he might even be 18.
Yeah,
and he scores. He
scores for Fulham.
He's playing in the championship, but still, he's really good.
And I've heard talks about him getting a call up for the World Cup.
Would not be surprised.
I've read a little bit about it.
Probably deserves it.
I also think he deserves it. I mean, I think it'd add a little bit of flair for that England squad. I mean, going back to the Euros, they kind of had it's just that boring English style of play.
Was Sam Allardyce their manager? Or, no, it was still Roy
Sam Allardyce had the job for what, 10 days?
I think it was 67.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
great guy.
Gareth Southgate, can't even say his name. I think if he gives him the opportunity, it gives him the flair off the bench, kind of like when the U.S. brought DeAndre Yedlin in against Belgium. I wouldn't say he shut down Hazard, but he offered that pace down the wing, and he offered a different element to the squad.
That was a good substitution, but the one that was even better was probably Chris Wondolowski.
Yes.
Yeah, that one is...
Good old Wando, then the
love
sitter.
That guy.
I mean, we could go on and on about U.S. soccer and their failures, but,
Ryan Sessegnon.
Do you have anybody else in mind that's playing in Europe at the moment?
There's the obvious ones, like Jesus, I think, is probably going to, be a complete star at the World Cup.
I'm kind of hesitant to get on the Brazil bandwagon for the World Cup.
They're good.
They are good.
They destroyed their qualifying, and they have the toughest qualifying.
It's true. CONMEBOL is really hard to qualify in. But, I don't know. Brazil.
What?
On center stage.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean,
we'll
see.
It's in their DNA, dude.
We'll see. I don't think they win the World Cup. I don't. I think I say them exiting round of 8. Quarterfinals.
Maybe.
Quarterfinals.
We can talk about that another time, but...
But yes, I do agree that Jesus will be the heir to the throne at Man City for Aguero, the leading goal scorer at Man City.
Sterling might have something to say about that.
I don't know about goal scoring.
I think Sterling's really good.
I also
think
Sterling's
good. Is he like 23
He's
now?
23, yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Man City and wingers, Leroy Sané.
Overrated.
Oh my goodness, Joey.
Overrated.
That's unreal.
He's a decent
Leroy
player.
Sané.
He's a good player.
German international. He's made his mark at the Premier League level.
He's fast. He can dribble.
It's only a matter of time.
He's playing in the best team in probably Europe right now.
Joey, he could be on the worst team. This guy would still be putting up results. Put this guy on West Brom.
And he
still has 10 plus assists and 8 goals.
No.
He does.
Maybe 10 goals, 8 assists. Maybe. No, not
He's
even.
a talented player.
He's good.
He's got pace. He can whip in a ball.
Yeah.
Like the best of them in the Premier League.
He's good, but he's overrated is what I'm saying.
I think you're misusing the word overrated because Leroy Sané is unreal.
Everyone hypes him up. Like you right now.
I would hype him up too. The dude's a beast.
Is he better than Asensio?
They don't play the same position. Asensio plays
That's a cop-out right there.
Asensio plays through the middle. Sané plays on the wing. If you put Asensio in Real Madrid, if you put Sané in the Real Madrid squad,
he'd destroy.
He has a better impact than Asensio.
No.
Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
Okay.
You know who can do what Asensio can do?
Asensio.
Christian Pulisic.
Hey.
Pulisicinho. The Captain America. Taking the name from good old Deuce, Clint Dempsey.
Yeah.
Captain America, Christian Pulisic. Our savior.
Kind of. Except he didn't save us.
Well,
he tried his best.
But
it's hard when you're playing with an awful
with a bunch of
awful team.
Ridiculous players. Who should have never got a call up in the first place.
You know what would be really cool? If Pulisic was tired of Dortmund and he decided to transfer to Kalou. That'd be pretty cool.
Joey just gave away where we go to school, so that's pretty cool. Now track us down.
You put the jersey on the wall, dude.
Oh, man. Yeah, if Pulisic just gave up his professional career and totally just went through all the bylaws that NCAA has. And
if he wanted to win SCIAC, he knows where to go.
2017 SCIAC winners, for anyone out there listening who doesn't know what that means.
It's basically like the World Cup.
Basically like the World Cup.
But for college.
Yeah, and we won it all.
And yeah.
So, anyways, you got Christian Pulisic.
There's Julian Weigl von Dortmund.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent on the Dortmund squad.
In Germany in general.
You've got Sanchez as well, the young.
Oh yeah.
They've got him from City. Dortmund now.
There's another guy, I forgot his name, Turkish. Oh, Emre Mor. Yeah.
See, but he's not really couldn't get on at Dortmund. He's not even there anymore.
Yeah, where is he? Do you know?
That's a good question. I think he might be playing for. I don't know why I want to say Celta Vigo, but that might be wrong.
Maybe, I don't know.
I think he's in La Liga. He might not be. I mean, I may be completely wrong, but correct us in the comments down below if you know where Emre Moore's playing.
But what about U.S. talent in Germany? Because there's a lot in Germany specifically.
I can go on and on here, buddy.
I'm sure you can.
Well, the obvious one, Christian Pulisic, the starlet. Another guy who's coming up on the radar. He got his first appearance for the U.S. team against the Portugal side. Well, a Portugal C side. He even scored in his debut. Weston McKennie.
Okay.
Schalke. They're up in the Bundesliga right now. He's getting minutes. He's got 8 or 9 starts at this point.
How old is he?
He's 18 years old.
18?
Middle of the park.
Yeah.
Good replacement.
Is he like more defensive? I don't know too much about U.S. players, to be honest.
He's a hard tackling central midfielder.
He's not
something
like a
the
creator.
U.S. Something the U.S. has lacked for so long.
No.
Who do they have?
Kyle Beckerman.
Oh my gosh, you're ridiculous.
No, I'm kidding.
Kyle Beckerman, no offense. Love the hairdo.
He's not watching.
I'm ashamed. I mean, I hate that you cut it, but if you do happen to see this, I love you, and you were...
You know who we should give a real shout out to?
Who?
Jermaine Jones.
Jermaine Jones.
I really like him.
See, but that's who... He's a hard-nosed defender like Jermaine Jones. He gets in, he gets stuck in.
But hopefully a little better, right?
I think he's better. I mean, Jermaine Jones, the thing is he didn't come along the U.S. scene until he was a little older.
Yeah.
McKinney was FC Dallas Academy product. Texas. That's where all the talent. That's where all the good talent comes from. I mean, in my opinion.
Boy.
But Weston McKennie, FC Dallas product, went to Schalke. He's getting minutes at a young age. I think future U.S. soccer looks bright right now. We've also got Josh Sargent. Just signed a professional deal with Werder Bremen. He's been training with the U23s, unfortunately, because he hasn't... Well, he just turned 18, but in his U23s, 1 goal, 2 assists in 2 games.
Where does he play? Like, what position?
Striker.
Okay.
I mean...
Is he quick?
He's 6'1". He's a target man, but he's got pace. I mean, I'd compare him to a guy like... This is...
Are you going to say who I think you're going to say?
Who am I going to say?
Say it.
What you say it first.
Lewandowski?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah?
That's what I was thinking.
You said 6'1", kind of a target man, but still pretty quick.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
But that's top.
That's
top level.
Like the mold of that, not as good.
If he gets to that level, phew, the U.S. we're shooting for a World Cup in 2022.
Telepathy.
That word.
Yeah.
But Josh Sargent, I mean, he's training with the first team now. I'm really excited to see him get his first appearance for Werder Bremen. It'll be interesting to see how he gets on with low side for Werder Bremen. I mean,
it's still Bundesliga.
But it still is Bundesliga. They're relegation candidates. But I've heard a lot of people say that the second Bundesliga could be a good league for him to develop in.
Maybe.
But you ultimately want him to get first team football at a top level team.
Bundesliga.
So you've also got Cameron Carter-Vickers.
Hey.
We all know about him. Tottenham guy. You talk a little bit about him.
He's young. Do you know how old he is? 19 or 20?
Oh, he's got to be 20 now.
He
just played in the U20 World Cup.
I've seen him play a few times for Tottenham, and I actually don't think I've ever seen him play in a U.S. game. Has he got a cap before? Or just
I think he may have one. Well,
I've seen him play for Tottenham, and it hasn't been great, to be honest.
See,
he just... It hasn't been great. It just doesn't seem like he's ready, and he's only 20, which is, especially for a center back that's young, but there's signs of promise I've seen. He seems like a decent defender, but maybe just needs that experience. I remember the game remember the Wickham game, FA Cup, where Tottenham almost lost?
Akinfenwa?
Yeah, he gave away a PK in that game, just dumb tackle.
He is young. He's going to make stupid mistakes like that every once in a while.
Yeah.
What I see when I think of Cameron Carter-Vickers is he's one of those kids who decided he wasn't going to play football.
Yeah.
So he decided to play soccer.
Mm-hmm.
And
just a natural athlete.
He's just a natural athlete. He's got athleticism. He can jump higher than anyone else.
He's pretty quick.
He's quick.
Yeah.
The ball at his feet is a question at this point. Like, he's going to have to work on that, but that'll come with age. The more minutes he gets. He's playing at a championship side right now, Sheffield.
It's United Championship or League 1.
So not top tier in any way, but
experience.
He's getting minutes.
Also in England, which is where he's probably going to be playing in the future.
Exactly. I think the best way to develop young talent is you got to get them games. You have to get them minutes on the field. You can't just have them come into training, and if they're training with top level talent, it doesn't matter. Like, they're not getting game experience, therefore it's not going to translate.
They'll still learn and
They will develop, but at a lot slower pace than some of these young guys in La Liga who are getting a chance at 16.
Yeah, but you also can't throw players in before they're ready and just have them get bashed, and because that will completely ruin a player's confidence.
See, but players who get their confidence ruined by 1 or 2 bad games, those players are weak and they're not going to translate at the next level anyways.
Yes, they will.
If
you're 17, you get thrown on in front of 50,000 people and you get megged and they go and score and then the fans get on you and all that, you're going to hate yourself for a while.
Yeah, but strong-minded players will get through that.
Yeah,
they'll
but
push through it and they'll develop.
Maybe he won't get another chance, you know? What if that's his last chance?
But that's what I'm saying. He should get another chance, especially for the U.S. team. I mean, I'm just saying.
No, I get you.
Throw the young talent in now. Throw them in with the bulls, as they say. Let them get exposure. And they'll develop at a faster rate than some of these countries that are ultimately beating us every single year in friendlies and every 4 years at the World Cup.
Yeah, but we need bigger changes than just that.
We do need bigger changes than that.
It's got to start even lower than that. Down at... do we want to get into this right now? Save it for another time. The grassroots and all that.
The grassroots, the pay to play. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Okay.
I've written about this. I've talked to directors of Cal South Soccer about this subject. Pay to play. I think it's something that's holding this country back.
It's whack.
It's holding this country back as far as soccer is concerned. You have talent who are falling through the cracks in places such as Texas, South Texas, Southern California. You have a lot of this Hispanic talent that's falling through the cracks because they can't pay the fees that are needed to play club ball. And yeah, sure, they can play rec soccer here and there, stuff that doesn't cost anything, but they're not getting looked at.
I think you still even have to pay for rec. It's just not as much.
It's not as much, but
still,
no coach is going to go look at a rec game
unless
the dude's scoring 40 goals. But even if he's scoring 40 goals, you have the whole guy who's like,
it's just
rec soccer. Yeah. So pay to play is something it's in the way. It's something that they need to get rid of.
Well, the thing is, they don't even need to be making profit, really. If we could set up a way where we could pretty much just break even and just have it continue over and over and over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we don't need this to, like, youth soccer to become a huge
and I agree with you there.
Industry that people can get into just for money.
It almost seems like everything in the U.S. that revolves around soccer is about money. Even at the MLS level, they bring big names over who are 55 years old. I mean, the MLS and the whole idea of a retirement league is kind of being thrown out the window as of recent because a lot of the designated players that they're buying are 23 and below.
Some of the older players who come, some of them have done really well.
They do really well.
But some of them have kind of just sucked and then gone
Pirlo
dipped right away. Gerard.
Is
Ashley Cole still playing?
Ashley Cole's still playing. But Ashley Cole's doing well for the Galaxy. But a guy like Pirlo, who literally just came over here, and I swear he just was here to get the check. But
I love Pirlo.
I mean, so do I, but he ruined his legacy with what he did here.
No, he didn't. What are you talking about? Pirlo could never ruin his legacy.
Okay.
Unless he shaved the beard.
Fair enough. Pirlo, he probably looks like a weirdo without the beard.
Yeah, have you seen him, like, the pictures from when he played for, like, Milan and stuff?
Yeah.
He looked like Snape. Professor Snape from Harry Potter.
Oh man. So let's move on up from the grassroots level. I think we can both agree that pay to play is something that's kind of hindering the game here in the US. But what also is holding us back?
Not having a manager?
Well, not having a manager, but the whole system that's in place. Sunil Gulati and
is he still in charge?
No, he's not.
Okay.
But his VP got elected. So it's gonna be it's gonna be much of the same. It doesn't make any sense. They wanted to talk about fresh new things.
Do you remember after the Trinidad game when they came out and said nothing needs to change?
Yes, everything needs to change. What are you talking about? How are you gonna not qualify for a World Cup and arguably one of the easiest places to qualify?
Definitely, like one of the easiest.
And you're gonna say nothing needs to change? First off, Klinsmann should have never been relieved of his duties. they keep Klinsmann, they make the World Cup.
No matter who they have, they could appoint anyone and they should still make the World Cup.
It's true, but if they keep Klinsmann, they make to the World Cup. Bruce Arena's a terrible manager. He's gotten it done at the MLS level, but that's not saying much because we've seen it. It does not translate to the international stage. Yeah. MLS coaches. I mean, Bruce Arena was just a Band-Aid almost on the situation.
Yeah,
and I think they could have gone elsewhere to fix it.
I think they expected Bruce Arena, decent coach. We should still be able to make the World Cup, which we should.
You should, but when you bring in a guy who's consistently shooting for draws at away stages,
yeah, but
you can't do that. You should be going into Trinidad with the mindset you're going to win, not piggybacking around, jumping over puddles.
Maybe not making it was there are good things that came out of it.
I think not making the World Cup
should get a new manager now.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that not making the World Cup is going to set the country back 5-10 years. I disagree with that. I think it's going to propel us to look more into things, kind of get a microscope and look at the smaller things and look at managers and who we've had in the past and see what they did differently than what we did this cycle. And I think it's going to help a lot because it's going to give the younger players a chance because you have 3.5 years to get these guys in friendlies, games that don't matter, and you'll be able to get them in the early qualification stages where you're playing teams like Antigua and Barbuda, teams that, well, I say that they beat, but at this point I have no idea. As long as they're not bringing guys like Wando back on the scene at 400 years old. But we need a new manager. We need fresh ideas.
Yeah.
We need fresh faces at both the player and the managerial level. And the guy that they have in there right now, Saracen, I believe his name is, something like that. He was under Bruce Arena. It's another Band-Aid, and they need to stop it with these.
So who do you think it should be?
I've got 3 guys in mind who I believe can take the U.S. men's soccer team to the next level. I'll start with my top candidate. This guy, he's gotten it done with, I'm a Huddersfield Town fan myself, but this may be a bit biased. But here's how I think. Dave Wagner. I think he pushed us to the next level. He's gotten it done. Sure they're in a relegation battle, but he's gotten it done with a below average squad in the Premier League.
Yeah.
I think we can both say that. They have some good players here and there, but they're a mid-table, low relegation battlers every year with the squad they have right now. But if you look close at it, he's got German ties. He was with Klopp while at Mainz, so he knows the German game. One of the biggest things is we need to keep that German pipeline open. Those German-American players who maybe can't play for the German side or just want to play for the U.S., you've got to keep that pipeline open because it's bringing so much talent.
So you don't believe in the Nick Bedford idea that we need to get rid of all these Germans?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That is a ridiculous idea.
Shout out Nick Bedford.
That's a ridiculous idea, and if you honestly think that these non-Americans aren't helping the team, you just go sit in a dark room for a bit, think about what you just said, come back out, and then talk to me.
Shots fired.
But Dave Wagner is my top candidate. Like I said, he's German-American. He played for the U.S. national team.
David Wagner did?
He played for the U.S. national team.
Really?
Yes.
How many appearances?
Oh, very little. But he made a few appearances for the U.S. national team, so he's familiar with the setup, or the old setup, which should now be a little fixed.
Yeah.
But he's got experience at national team level. Like,
wait, so he's American?
He's German-American.
And he played for the national team?
He played for the U.S. national team.
I did not know that.
Well, now you know.
Well, the thing I would have against him, I think he's a good manager, but before you told me he was American, I didn't really feel like he'd be interested at all in the job.
Right.
But now that I know he played for the national team, maybe that would make him more interested in it with that connection. But
also,
I just feel like him at Huddersfield, Premier League, big time, like, I don't know if he'd want to go.
I don't even know if he's going to stay at Huddersfield very much longer, because I've heard that he's getting a lot of interest out of the Bundesliga, somewhere he's been before and somewhere where he's had success. So, he may pass the opportunity to stay at Huddersfield to go back to his country at birth and coach there again. So, that's always there as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Who would be your top candidate?
a guy that you like. You've told me about him before. It's Tab Ramos. The coach of the under-20s for the U.S.
Also a former national team player.
Yeah, and he's
a pretty good one at that.
Yeah, he played with the national team in the 90s, and then he's been part of, I think, coaching since 2011 with the under-20s.
He's been a part of the youth culture in U.S. soccer for a while now.
And I think, isn't he like technical director of youth soccer in the U.S. or something like that? I think
something like that. But, I mean, yeah, Tab Ramos, like, we've seen it as recent as the U20 World Cup.
Yeah.
They, in my opinion, overperformed. They played super well. It was nice to see them play the way they played. It was high pressure, fast pace, something I haven't really seen with U.S. soccer for a while.
Definitely not.
So I'll have to agree with you for your top candidate. I mean, if Dave Wagner decides to pass up on the opportunity, I think that would be a perfect replacement.
Because he knows the youth also. Like
he does. So he's been with Pulisic. He's been with McKennie.
He's worked with them probably since they were younger. Exactly. Probably not too much when they were too young, but as they got older, he's probably worked.
He has a relationship with them.
Yeah.
And I think if you bring in a guy who has a relationship with the players, who can kind of keep the locker room, something that they've had trouble with in past cycles, coaches maintaining the locker room, Klinsmann, for example, I think that would be a really good candidate.
The thing I would say is kind of how we were talking about Bruce Arena and then his assistant getting appointed. It's kind of just the same thing.
It is.
It's someone from within U.S. Soccer being put in the job, which...
And that's not always such a bad thing.
But
that's not always such a bad thing.
I think he's good enough, and I don't think he'd just do exactly what everyone else has been doing.
And he would jump at the opportunity. He's said previously that he wants the job if offered. So, I mean, if you have a guy that's interested, if you have a guy that's had success at lower levels, I'm not going to say that U20 is going to translate to a international senior level, but there is a chance. So, I mean, I agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
Do you have anybody kind of like a X factor, I guess, like someone who's a little unlikely, but you could see maybe having success?
The coach of Northern Ireland.
Okay.
I think it's Mitchell or Michael O'Neill.
Michael O'Neill.
I always get him confused with the regular Ireland coach, who's Martin O'Neill. He's had the Northern Ireland team overperform recently with almost qualifying for the World Cup and then qualifying for the Euros and doing decently well. And I think that's just something the U.S. has been doing the opposite of, just underperforming. My question for you, a guy who has a Northern Ireland team, as you said, overperforming, why would a guy like, what is Michael O'Neill you said? Michael, I can't remember.
Either way, why would he take a job in the U.S. where he's going to be scrutinized and be put on the hot seat for losing one game to, say, a team like Mexico?
Yeah, that's true, but he may possibly want a new challenge. Also, the U.S. might be able to offer more money. They offer better players, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
And more potential for future World Cups and competition. So I think it would be a step forward in his career.
Yep.
Maybe he has a connection to Ireland that he'd want to keep, but I definitely think it'd be a step up in his career. Maybe not by too much, but certainly a step up.
Well, definitely a step up. I'll go along the same line. Someone who's had an international job before. If they want to stick with the old face, bringing back an old face, the man who pees with his pants all the way down, good old Bob Bradley.
Love that guy.
We've seen what he's done with LAFC. I mean, it's a small sample size, 2 games, not anything to look at and say, oh, he's having success.
Is he really going to leave already?
But I don't. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, if it was offered, possibly.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't be offered till probably about the mid-season mark of MLS.
Maybe till after the World Cup.
Maybe even after the World Cup.
Probably after the World Cup. We're really in no rush to.
We're in no rush, but it would be nice to get a manager set up before these friendlies that they're doing before the World Cup.
But there might be managers who want to leave their countries after the World Cup.
It's true. So I mean, you got Bob Bradley, and then one you have disagreed with before.
Let's hear it.
Thomas Tuchel. Dortmund boss. He's been out of the job for a year and a half now. Pulisic and him have a really good relationship. The same thing with Dave Wagner. He's German. He keeps that pipeline available. He probably knows more German talent than Dave Wagner and maybe even Klinsmann.
Definitely.
Because he's been there and he's there more recently. Yeah. So, I mean, Thomas Tuchel.
Yeah, but I don't see any way why he would want to go to manage the U.S.
Why?
Why would he? Because you know what he's going to do?
What?
This season's going to end.
He's going to go to Man United?
Jupp Heynckes is going to leave Bayern.
He's not going to Bayern.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
And he's taking Pulisic with him. It's going to happen.
Okay, you might be onto something there, but why?
Why would he be sitting out of a job for a year and a half, just doing nothing?
But
he's definitely not waiting for the U.S. job.
Why would Bayern not have hired him
mid-season
before Heynckes?
Because it was mid-season, Ancelotti was doing poorly, and just a familiar face brings stability, and he's a very good coach, Jupp Heynckes.
He is.
And he's been there and done it. Like I said, he knows Bayern legend, and just easy to get him back. He was probably willing, and I just think Tuchel's going to Bayern at the end of the year.
I mean, he's my unlikely candidate. I don't see it happening, but if it did happen,
me neither.
That'd be super
crazy.
excited.
I would love that.
Super excited about that acquisition if it were ever to happen.
Yeah.
Do you kind of have a long shot candidate?
Not really, no. I heard some stuff about Laurent Blanc from...
I did, but I heard he also rejected it.
I think that would actually be pretty good. Not great. It'd be an experienced
an improvement from Arena, that's for sure.
Yeah,
but Blanc...
He's defensive, which we don't really want to play.
He was the manager of the French national team for a little bit, and that was the
year didn't do well with France or PSG.
And France definitely has way more talent than the U.S. at this moment.
Mm-hmm.
So, I could get behind the hire. I could get behind it, that's for sure.
He rejected it anyway, so it's probably not going to happen.
Pretty much thrown out the window.
But that's all really I have about that. Do you have anyone else? Or
I mean... Other than the three I named, there's a lot of guys out there, but at this point, the U.S. job's not a very hot job.
No.
Especially with no World Cup to prepare for.
Yeah.
You're pretty much just sitting there with friendlies until 2022, and that just doesn't seem like something, if I were a manager, that I'd want to do. Mm-hmm. But then again, you do have guys who enjoy development, who enjoy rebuilds, stuff like that, so... I mean, we'll see. It's something that's going to happen here very soon, or I hope happens very soon.
Hopefully.
And hopefully U.S. soccer can get a move on with that and start this next cycle.
Yeah.
And we can look forward to 2022. Hot take, U.S. wins the 2022 World Cup.
That take is less hot than your Africa winning 2018 World Cup take, though, so it's not even that hot. Because there's no way an African team is going to win the World Cup game.
And with that... This concludes our second podcast. Thanks for all of you who listened and watched. We'll be uploading the audio onto iTunes here soon, hopefully.
We'll put the link in the description.
We'll put the link in the description. Hopefully we can get that working soon enough. That way you won't have to look at our two ugly faces for too long. Mm-hmm. But, again, thanks for watching. If you watched the last one, thanks for that as well. Like and subscribe. Joe, you have anything for our fans?
Just thanks for watching. Didn't expect people to actually watch, but if you're watching, thank you very much.
If we can hit 20 likes on this video, very unlikely.
20,000.
20,000 likes on this video. Be greatly appreciated. We will do a special video for you if we get 20,000 likes. Don't know what we'll do, but we'll do something. Again, thanks everyone. It's been our pleasure to bring you podcast number 2. Thanks for watching. DosAmericanos, out.